Nice and early in the garden again. I thought I'd have a little walk around with you. It's been a little while. A nice early walk round with me and my friend that appeared today. And my other little one up there, if you can see her. Okay, let's start with the potatoes. So we haven't had a frost, which is why these are looking lovely and bushy. It's very moist outside, so I haven't been watering. These are going to be my Christmas potatoes. Yeah, they're looking really good in there. I did mulch them to keep the moisture in. Now the sweet potatoes are not doing as well. As you can see, they've been dug up probably by the foxes. Lovely things they are. Yeah, they're not doing too well at all, but I didn't expect them to. Then onto my blueberry bed, which are being hidden by the potato branches. So finally my spring onions are starting to come on. It's the red variety. You have a look in there. Let's have a look. So these I find are taking a lot longer. So in here it looks like they've been eaten. The tops of them have been eaten. And we have another hole from the fox. So this time of year I do have a lot of problem with foxes in the garden digging in holes. So the flowers I popped in, they've all taken really well. We've got a lot of new growth on these ones. So these come from the front garden. So yeah, they've all taken really well. They haven't been dug up. They're absolutely beautiful on a cold morning. And my salad bed. These are the most recent cos lettuce that I put in, and we've got new growth coming here. And my row of beets are doing okay. As you can see, I'm picking a lot of my spinach. And I have lots here as well. So this is the endive, which I was calling wrong. So that's come through now. Lots of salad leaves there. And a big slug, as I can see, right here. Let's get rid of that. Oh, no. It's gone to the depths. Okay. So, yeah. So looking at these two look like they could do with being eaten. That one's fine. And then I got some more growth here. And I popped some more seed down here, which some of it looks like it's come through. I have got a row of seed here. Oh yes, look at this. But nothing's come through here just yet. That's fine, because it was only a week ago. Oh, I've got new growth here as well. So as soon as I see a space, I literally just sprinkle whatever seed I have in a little line and pop them in here, so I've got a lot of green. And okay, so onto this section here. So this section is never used in my garden, ever. It gets very, very wet and overgrown in this area. I mean, you can see we've only had a small amount of rain this year after all the dryness, and look how wet it is. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go all the way across to my compost bin with some weed sheeting. That's going to go all the way across, and I'm going to have a row of stones just across there so I can get to the back of the beds absolutely fine. And then I'm going to be making 3 holes going up, nice equal holes, and I'm going to be putting my hydrangeas in that area there. So it's going to create a wall, hopefully when they get bigger, all the way down here of flowers. So when I am sat in my living room and I can look out and I can see my hydrangeas, and when I'm in the garden looking down towards the house, it kind of blocks off the area where I tend to put a lot of stuffs. So I've got this here, and I took this out the front. This was on my tree, and it was on my tree around it, protecting it from children who play football quite close and would quite often kick a ball at my house. So what I'm going to do with that one is pop it in this space here. So there'll be stones here, and then that should cover that whole space here. I'm going to fill it up with compost, and then I am going to plant here. So anything that likes really damp soil, that doesn't like too much sunshine, I'm going to pop here. Haven't decided what yet, whether it's going to be a winter bed or a summer bed. And then we'll have our row of hydrangeas across here, which are only very small at the moment. and then that will also block off my compost bin from view. And I've got a couple of bags of grass to go in the compost bin. I won't open it. Let's move on to the nature pond, see what's going on in the nature pond. Do we have any frogs or toads today? Oh, we don't, not that I can see, but it is quite moist on the grass. Oh yes, we do. There's one all the way deep down there. So he's quite often in there. He's the really big one. Fat Frank, I think my son called him. Okay, so let's move on to the pots. The rose bush is still doing really well. I haven't put any of the new planters in yet, mainly because everything is still doing so well in the pots because it is still so mild. So nothing has really died down yet. As you can see, I'm still getting lots of flowers, and I've got lots of cobwebs on my clematis, so I don't really want to cut them back yet. And then the same here, as my alyssum's doing so well at the moment that I don't really want to take it out of the pot, and I'm still getting the odd foxglove. And I have no idea what these are called. I really keep telling myself I need to learn. They look a little bit like sweet peas. I know they're not, but they do look a little bit like that. And then I've got some lobelia in here as well. The marigolds are pretty much ready to come out now. They're not going to dry off in there because it's too moist in the air. And then the same, this is just starting to go now. So this is my jasmine, that's starting to die off now. So I could probably get rid of what's in here, take out the lavender, obviously reuse the lavender. And then this is the bed that I put the cabbages in. I've got two different varieties in here. This is the one that got dug up by the foxes. So all I did was just move it all around, settle it back down, and I've got some growth in here. Not too much, but enough to keep this going. But I do need to put a cover on this. The nasturtiums are doing okay still. They're not suffering from the cold just yet. This one will be my main indication as to when to get rid of all of these pots and put in the new beds. Oh, I've got some black spot going on here, which surprises me because I've got some great nutrition in here. Okay, so this is my rose that I took out of the long pot, and that again needs to go into the raised bed, but for now it's just in that temporary pot. And the bed I put to sleep has taken really well with all the mulch and everything on it. The snapdragons are doing fine. The rosemary's doing good. I've got more snapdragons there. I did cut back all of the sorrel, and yet it's come back through here, and it's come back through here. So that's done really well. And the grapevine there has still got 2 leaves on it. So moving on to the other side. Again, the marigolds are doing really well, so I don't want to take them out yet. You know, there's not many bees around, but I do want to leave some flowers there for the ones that are still around. The one tomato plant I left in, the leaves are still absolutely fine, no signs of any damage. Oh, these ones come off, so I will take these off and pop them inside, ready to ripen off. Oops, that's 4 more tomatoes. You can't complain about that. The rosemary's doing well. The parsley's still doing good. I need to find a recipe for that one. And as you can see, the foxes have been at the beds again. Okay, so I definitely need to get some fox control going on here. And this has all been pulled over by the foxes. Lovely. So this is my trailing one that I had all across the side, and you can see the foxes have pulled that up. Lovely. And let me guess, have they been at my carrots as well? No, they haven't been at my carrots just yet. Oh no, we have some carrot damage, so they've been trying to get into my carrots as well. Lovely jubbly. And what's going on in my vegetable patch today? Some sluggage. Don't seem to be getting anywhere with my turnips. Nothing's really happened with the turnips. They're just a big mess of green. I've got some onions growing in there, some beets growing in there. So since I took out my big cauliflower, everything else around it has got bigger. And as you can see right at the back there, my 2 Swiss chard that I planted are doing very, very well. And you can hear my cats crying for me in the background. So that's my other cauliflower doing good. So that's the last cauliflower that I've got growing that should be ready before Christmas. Any others will be ready after Christmas. You always see another big slug over there. And if I come round, you can see I have some beets just in there. That's the golden beets. Some coriander. That's about it really on this side. That slug I can see even more so now. And another Brussels sprout plant. So the bamboo is looking good. The black bamboo isn't growing as fast, I would say. Yeah, it's more bushy than anything, but I love this one. This one's got like a zigzag to it. That's really cool. I like that. And they're much taller now than what they were, so that's fantastic. That's just what I wanted. And the experiment is still very much covered up, not uncovered by the foxes. And then my carrots, which I had to cover up, are doing better actually since I've had this cover on them. Because as you can see, there's a big hole there from the foxes. So yeah, so those carrots are doing well. So these are the second sowing of carrots. Right, into the greenhouse. I haven't been in here for a couple of days. So you're seeing what I'm seeing for the first time. Okay, so the first things first, let's pop the tomatoes in here. Oh, I've got a wet pocket now. Lovely. Okay, wow. So since putting that in the pot, that's gone crazy. Wow, that courgette has tripled in size in literally 3 days. And the same as this tiny little one. How are we getting on with the hydrangea cuttings? Slug. Where do these slugs keep coming from? Rosemary's doing okay. Everything here seems... Oh, look at that. That's not good. Not enough air's coming in here. Need to cut that off. There is mould. Lemon tree. Okay, the clematis is doing well still, and the fig. So I definitely need to... Wow, I need to pollinate this now. Look at this. Look at this courgette. So I need a male flower. So we have a male flower here. Let's pollinate that one. I was not expecting this. So let's get in here. Be nice and gentle. Just going to wisp it in here nice and gently. I'm actually thinking I might even leave it in there. Let's see if I can take off these outside ones. And really poke it in there. That's it. I just want to be super, super careful I don't knock off the flower. Okay, there you go. I've literally just poked him in there. I've given it a little dabble and then poked. Wow. Really wasn't expecting that. That's crazy. So again, I'm having a problem with the dampness. The mould has gone on all my sunflowers, so I need to get them out today. And my sweet potato plant, yep, more leaves are dying off now. I didn't get any flowers, but I don't know if it's dying off because of the amazing aphids. Now, okay, so the cucumber plant, the new one, has started producing cucumbers. Gosh, I should leave my greenhouse a little while longer again. Let's see how we get on with the big cucumber, my original plant. Okay, so this one's doing well. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh, I have something on it. That should not be on it. What is that? That is a slug. Slug on my cucumber, you little. Let's just not use a word. Okay, so look at that for a cucumber. It is October the 18th, I think it is. And look at that. That's fabulous. I am over the moon with that. Oh, we have another Scotch bonnet that's gone red. Okay, so that's good. I think what I'm going to do with these, because we're not expecting any more sun now, I think I'm just going to pick all of those today, dry them, dehydrate them as green, and then chop this plant back, and that gives me space to bring the potatoes in here then. Okay, so yeah, really positive. Nice big cucumber. Well, I say big, it is the snack variety, so that's really big for a snack variety cucumber. 95% humidity, so I am going to jack up this window a tiny bit, literally this much, just to let some air in here for a little while. Everything's fine as well, doesn't need water in, so everything is doing fantastic. So the water that is actually in here has come from the crack in the window, and this fly trap seems to be working now. Well, I say it seems to be working. I've still got tons of leaves that aren't doing great, but still. No, that's fantastic. I'm really happy with this. So that's everything in the garden for a nice early morning walk around. My greenhouse is full of condensation. Washing the windows is on my list for this week, but I've got a very sore elbow, and that's the arm I'm probably going to be using to wash the windows. So I might hang fire on that one just a little bit. I'm quite warm now. Yeah, so that's going to be one of my jobs, making sure that in the morning I make sure I get rid of any of the condensation and open the window. So maybe not first thing in the morning, so probably if by say 10:30 to 11 a.m. it is over 9 degrees outside, then I'm going to open the windows, even if it's just for an hour to air it out, because I don't want mould getting on everything. Okay, so that was a big kick up the butt for me. Greenhouses are new, I've never had one before, so it's a learning curve for me, so lesson learned. So the next job is I'm going to harvest anything that needs harvesting in here. I want to get this final pepper done and dusted, cut back. It's going to help with the aphid issues that's going all over my sweet potatoes. So yeah, so going to cut these down, dehydrate them and eat them. I'm going to be making some jollof rice, so I would normally use a red one, but I'm going to try using some green ones for that one. And I'm just going to pop them in the same basket as I popped those tomatoes this morning. And as you can see, this is 2 plants here. I like to do things in pairs. Don't ask me why. I like to make sure, really, I guess, in pairs with plants, because if something is not surviving, or if something catches a disease, or something just breaks, because I can be quite heavy-handed, I know I've got another one. Okay. That looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Wow, you served me so well. Okay, so I'm going to go and grab a small pot now, and I'm going to take these out, give them a little bit of a tap, and then put them into a smaller pot, and then discard of all these leaves in the compost. So on to the next job, moving the log, putting a layer of the sheet down, and making 3 holes for the hydrangeas. Try and move this log. Okay, so that worked. Okay. That is where the guinea pig was, because that is a corn on the cob. Okay. Okay. So because this edge is extremely frayed, I'm going to pull it over onto the path just that little bit more. Okay. And then because I only need a thin strip going up this way, I'm not going to go all the way across because I can use it horizontally, because I don't want to lose too much grass. Now I'm gonna, because these has got lines in it, I'm gonna go over to the 1, 2, 3, 4th. Okay, so then I'm gonna cut all the way up. Suddenly it gets windy. Okay, let's move this bit to one side. Let's pop this bit exactly where I want it. So just slightly, I'd say an inch higher than the raised bed. It's just so I can get a good bit of measuring done. If any extra is needed, I have that off cut. Okay, let me grab a rock. Luckily enough, it doesn't weigh anything. It's very light. Okay. So with this, I want to go as close to the path as possible. So that's one thing less to trim. Okay. So as you probably already know, I would usually use cardboard for this area, but because it gets so boggy, I'm a bit worried the cardboard isn't going to work as well as what a ground sheet would. That's why I'm using this membrane, because I've used this one before in a wet area and it's done really well. So I am going to continue just to use this bit here that I've got, and hopefully I've got enough left over to do the area up right at the end where the washing line is. Again, after 4 years, the weeds are only just starting to come through now, which is why I'm replacing it. So yeah, so hopefully this will stay de-weeded. Now, do I stone this area, or do I put some bark to make it look a little bit more natural looking, because this is where the pond is? You know, I might bark it, but if I bark it, are the foxes going to dig it up? I think the foxes are going to dig up no matter what I do, if I'm honest. They poops everywhere. Okay. And I'm not going to paint this either until next year. Well, I'm not going to paint it next year. I'm going to get myself a nice sander, another power tool, cordless, hopefully. That's on my 2026 list of tools. And I'm going to give it a really good sanding and not have it green. I went off this green very quickly. So I'm going to put in the bottom. What am I going to put in the bottom? Nothing for now, because I'm not going to start another job. I need to make the holes. I need to make the holes for the hydrangeas. So what I'm going to do is dig out the hydrangeas first, place them where I think they're going to look best, then make the hole. Okay, so I have the scissors. I don't have a spade. That's the third thing on my list. I don't have a spade. My spade must be at the allotment. And I'm not a great fan of tool sharing, so I need to get one for the garden. So I'm going to try and use my edging tool if I can, at least to do the outside. And try and get my glove on. I did just check the greenhouse. It's 26 degrees in there, so I've opened the window a bit more because it's really moist in there still. Okay. So I've got to bear in mind I've got 3 of these plants. Where do I want to put them all? And which order? Okay, I've got the glove on. That took way much more time than it should. Okay, so I'm going to go. I think I'm going to put my smallest one. No, because that gets the most shade. So my biggest one at the far end and then come down in size. Because that's the biggest gap. So that should bush out quicker than all the rest. Okay, so I might be able to just do a hole this way. Okay. So that one there is what I'm currently going to be using. So it's Verve, Azalea, Rhododendron, Camellia compost for planting in pots and flower beds, ideal for acid loving plants. So this is what you use if you want to change the colour of your hydrangeas as well. Okay, so okay, I'm going to go all up the sides and then I'm going to pop it in. Right, now it's definitely forward facing, so I'm actually going to turn it round so the sun hits the back of it. Okay. So again, I'm going to be taking off any of the dead sticks. This one won't take very long because it's a new plant. That's got growth, that's got growth. This one hasn't, and this one hasn't. Okay, yeah, done. Nice and quick. Take out any of the dead leaves that have blown into it from the front of the house. Oh, this one's looking much better. Okay. So all I'm going to do now is just trim the bottom up a little bit before I make the hole. Oh, it's like a glove. Okay. Again, water. Make sure all these roots are really damp because out the front they kept drying out. So I think about here, because then it will bush over here, which will help cover that area there, and there'll be a nice hidey hole there for the frogs and the toads. So that is just almost a metre there. Yes, I'd say about here. You can see just here to get the good light, there's some purple shoots here. There's quite a few purple ones here. So I would say what I've done with it this year by taking it out of the pot and giving it a really good feed for 6 months, I think that's done it the world of good. I've still got quite a lot of leggy stems, but they've got a lot of buds on them, so I'm hoping that when I do a prune next year I can take off a lot more of the leggy ones and there'll be a lot of new fresh ones on there. Let's get it in the hole. Okay. The hole's not really deep enough, if I'm honest. However, I can't go down any further because it's just rocks and clay. So let's just hope with the really good haircut that I've given it, the roots will spread as opposed to just go down, which they probably will because the soil over here is so moist considering we haven't had rain in a long time. Okay, so they're all in. I've managed to fill the square for 1/3, so it's only going to need a little bit of bark in the bottom and the rest compost, and that will be ready to go. And I've managed to cut all of this off, and I'm going to go and plant like these, see if I can make cuttings from these. They've already got all roots on them, so I'm just going to trim them down, pop them into a pot of compost and see how I get on. Job done. So I have the pot with the soil in it, so it's just normal compost, ericaceous soil. I'm not putting no blood, fish and bone, no growth, no nothing in it, because I wasn't expecting to get these. If they grow, they grow. They don't, they don't. So let's sort these out. Right, these have got no root on them whatsoever, but I need to bring it up. I'm going to cut. Okay, just want to make sure they're definitely green. They are. Okay, let's cut off anything that's bad. Okay, so that's dead. Is that dead? That's dead, but this one isn't. I'm going to cut these leaves off. Just keep the top leaves. And then I'm just going to pop them in around the edge of the pot. 3 cuttings and 2 with roots. And then what I've got left is this big one here. So I'm just going to cut the wood down on it a little bit more. So when I'm saying that, I mean anything that's completely dead. Like that. Right, that one has got new growth, so I'm going to cut that off. That's dead. That's dead. I've got one just in there. One more tucked away in this little gap here. That's dead. And that one there. So this one isn't dead. It's got new shoots at the top, but it's also got new shoots there. So I'm going to find a really good leaf node. Cut just over it. Okay. So with that being said, that one there and that one, I'm actually going to put these 2 together in a pot all by itself because the root system's really big. Okay, so let's give it a good chance by cutting off the leaves. I'll always leave a couple of leaves on there because that helps you see how it's doing. So if it doesn't take, these should drop off straight away. I'm not going to put them in the greenhouse. I'm just going to leave them outside for nature to do nature's thing. I'm going to pop a little bit more compost on that. Then I am going to pop some chip-ins on there to stop the foxes. Oh, massive piece of wood there. So all done now. I've got the chip-ins just on the soil, so it makes it harder for the foxes to dig up. So it's not a huge pot, but you know, it's going to be over the winter period. They're going to be sat in there. And then the cuttings are around the edge. And then I've got some roots in the middle there. Could probably take off a few more of these leaves if I'm honest. Just pinch these out. So that is another week done in my garden. Part 2 of the transformation will appear in next week's vlog. I hope you can come along and join me for another session in the garden.